Thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. All hands are on deck and on high alert Sunday morning as the IDF prepares for an escalation in violence from the Gaza Strip following yet another weekend of rockets. Beginning Friday evening, just as Israelis were sitting down for Shabbat dinner, at least 10 missiles were launched from the Hamas-run enclave, setting off alarms and the Iron Dome system. One rocket even struck a home in the southern city of Sderot, as seen in the CCTV footage, though luckily no one was hurt because the parents and the children who lived in the house ran to protected areas just before the projectile hit. Well, in response, as per usual, Israel conducted airstrikes against Hamas targets in Gaza, reportedly killing one and wounding two more. Israel holds Hamas responsible for any and all attacks that come from the Strip, in spite of the fact that the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror group is believed to be behind these latest strikes and not Hamas. This policy, however, is in part why many Israeli leaders are at odds on what to do next. Knesset member Naftali Bennett, for one, agrees that we should be prepared for more, but that for now, there's no point in a stronger response, as it will only lead to unnecessary spinning. Former IDF Chief of Staff and Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz, on the other hand, says that we must strike harder to restore deterrence, including the reintroduction of targeted assassinations. Either way, many defense experts are starting to suspect Iranian proxy and Palestinian Islamic Jihad leader in Gaza, Baha Abu al-Atta, of orchestrating the latest string of attacks, meaning that something will likely have to be done soon, and attacking Hamas alone may not be enough. For the first time in over 10 years, someone other than Benjamin Netanyahu has a chance of becoming Prime Minister of Israel, and the Blue and White or Kahol-Lavan party head Benny Gantz isn't going to give it up without a fight. That's why following meetings with other party leaders last week, Prime Minister-elect is now sitting down with members of the joint Arab Knesset list, and they're clearing a path towards the Arab-majority parties either backing or even joining in the next coalition government for the first time in decades. But in the landmark closed-door meeting, Gantz and the joint list leaders discussed mostly civilian issues plaguing the Arab-Israeli communities, like violence in the Arab sector. Gantz apparently made clear, though, that what was discussed was not dependent on the joint list's support. Meanwhile, however, this meeting comes just a few days after Prime Minister Netanyahu also met with his cabinet and other Arab community leaders to discuss the violence in the Arab sector. But critics highly suspect this meeting to be politically motivated and indicative of intentions to return to a third election cycle. The same suspicion reported after Channel 12 revealed talks between Netanyahu and the new right's Naftali Bennett. Netanyahu is reportedly considering reappointing Bennett to the cabinet, and Bennett, for his part, though, has since come out against such rumors, saying that if I'm an obstacle to forming a government, I release Netanyahu from any commitment to me and to the new right, and I'm ready to sit in the opposition. The main thing, he added, is to get a government established. A shocking clip released Saturday by Israel's Channel 13 News is leaving jaws dropped on the floor now, as it appears to show a border police officer firing upon a Palestinian who was walking away with his hands up. According to reports and the video, the young man is apparently crossing through a tunnel road in the West Bank when he was told to leave the area. So he then started walking down the tunnel with his backpack and ID card raised before soldiers tell him to drop his hands. Then, after a brief misunderstanding, he eventually complies with the order, but he's shot from behind with a sponge bullet anyway, dropping the man to the ground. The extent of his injuries were not yet made clear. Despite the recent airing of the tape and the vitriol that followed, however, the border police have since reported that the video is in fact over a year and a half old. Further, they say that they were already aware of the incident and viewed it with great severity, having also already taken action against the officer in question. In fact, the officer suspected of firing the rubber bullet was immediately kicked off the force and put under investigation, while the other officers involved in filming the incident were similarly punished and or transferred. Now, we hope you have 2 pieces of bread nearby for this next story because November 3rd is International Sandwich Day. And that's good because here in Israel, sandwiches are huge. Whether in a pita, a bun, or a challah roll, you can't deny that sandwiches are the go-to fast food for Israelis. But today isn't just about eating sandwiches. It's also about giving them away. Or at least that's what it's about for Nevet, an organization dedicated to feeding hungry school children with simple morning sandwiches. In fact, Nevet is sending over 8,500 fresh rolls to over 151 public schools around the country each and every day. And volunteers use prepackaged foods to put together these healthy sandwiches so that hungry kids can better focus in class. So please consider offering a helping hand, as Nevet urges everyone to donate just 3 shekels, or about 75 cents, so that even one child who leaves home hungry today won't stay that way. Alright, that's all for now. Follow us on Facebook at Israel English News, and of course on Twitter at ILTV News. I'm Aaron Porras. See you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.